Welcome to the dceu update here on Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So shall we get your dceu updates going? Titans Season 4 rumoured to introduce Lex Luthor. According to a new rumour, Titans Season 4 may finally introduce its version of the DC Comics villain Lex Luthor, as he's reportedly set to appear by Andy, whose surname I can't pronounce. Titans Season 4 may be introducing Lex Luthor as a new rumour is claiming that the iconic super foe is on his way to the HBO Max drama. One of the core characters on Titans is Connor Kent, aka Superboy, played by Joshua Alpin, who was introduced at the end of the first season. His arrival, Superboy, has been one of the team's most powerful members, while dealing with the fact that he's a clone made out of the two major DC characters. The DC drama wasted no time during Titans Season 2 in establishing that Superboy is a result of Superman and Lex Luthor's DNA combined. While Connor may have most of Superman's abilities, the Boy of Steel inherited some of Lex's intellectual gifts. Throughout the last two seasons, Titans has explored Connor's inner struggle about not wanting to become like Lex. Despite Titans having referenced Superman and Lex on several occasions, the series has thus far not introduced either of them on the screen. The closest the show got to Lex was the presence of Mercy Graves during Titans Season 2, where she was one of the main villains. Alongside Project Cadmus, even though Titans isn't dependent on Superman and Lex showing up, it's still an unfinished storyline for Superboy, and he has yet to meet the people whose DNA created him. Aritson Adzon, is Titans worth watching? Yes, I like Titans. It's a great show. Definitely, if you're a DC fan, you would want to watch it. However, it appears that Superboy may be close to finally coming face-to-face with at least one of his makers. In a new report from the Illuminati, the outlet is claiming that Titans Season 4 is set to introduce, in a specific capacity, the rumor states that the HBO Max series will introduce Lex at the beginning of the season, specifying that the producers intend his appearance to be memorable. While Lex isn't being eyed to be a regular cast member in Titans Season 4, the show's version will reportedly be 40 years older. Warner Brothers TV nor HBO Max has officially confirmed if this Titans rumor is true or so. For now, take this with a grain of salt. It has always been strange that Titans hasn't introduced Lex or Superman at least once since Superboy's arrival. The reasoning for Superman's absence is likely due to character restrictions, since Warner Brothers doesn't always allow their DC TV shows to use certain heroes and villains. Well, let me correct them there, because now with the multiverse strategy, you can have Superman and Batman, different versions, different actors playing these people. So this is not true. While they're actively part of the DC movies, that's nonsense. I mean, Superman and Lois, for Christ's sake, right? To say it doesn't really make sense. They're talking nonsense. So where were we? Well, Clark Kent may never pop up on Titans, mainly due to Superman and Lois. No, again, that's nonsense. Perhaps Lex can show up now that Supergirl has come to an end. If Lex is indeed coming in Titans Season 4, the show can hopefully have Superman appear at least once. Titans could use the Bruce Wayne method by having Clark for an episode or two, but not suited up. Again, they could do both. There's nothing stopping them. This is the multiverse, right? Should the rumor be true, it would make perfect sense for Titans Season 4 to only have Lex for a handful of episodes. The heroes will already have their hands full with Brother Blood, Mother Mayhem, and Jinx. One of the issues with the past seasons is that the show has had too many villains. Can you have too many villains? Stupid complaint. And storylines going on at the same time. Oh no, heaven forbid we have a couple of storylines at the same time. Could use Lex's arrival to build up to a bigger storyline that could happen in a potential fifth season, where he could serve as one of the main threats. Should the rumor turn out to be true, it will be intriguing to see who the producers will end up casting as their Lex for Titans. Please Michael Rosenbaum. Wouldn't that be awesome for Michael to turn up in the Titans Earth, in the Titans universe? Because Titans is set on a completely different Earth, if I remember rightly, to Arrowverse. So they can literally do whatever they want here as far as I'm concerned. So it's an exciting rumor. Lex Luthor, rumored to appear in Titans season 4. Let me know right now in the comments what you think about that. But today's DCEU update, continue with the next article. So Jennifer Holland discusses the possibility of Peacemaker season 2. I think there's always the hope that that's going to happen. There's not really any conversation about it until you know how it's been received. That's interesting. Let's click on the article because her husband, James Gunn, seemed extremely confident about a Peacemaker season 2 series. And Jennifer Holland is opening by Bart Wonsky of Screen Rant. One of the principal cast members breaks down the chances of season 2 happening. James Gunn conceived the series as a spin-off of the Suicide Squad, retaining much of the same cast and focusing on the titular star who murdered one of the film's protagonists. It launched in mid-January and is winning over. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Yeah, basically, it's not available to me where I am here in the UK, so I can't see it. But I've spoken to people about Peacemaker. I've read a lot of reactions to Peacemaker. People are very excited. And I'm hearing huge rumors about the season finale as well, which is very exciting. Ben Pottimeyer actually was just watching Inside of You with Rosenbaum. Still think they should do a Lex Luthor origin like Joker movie. Yes, it's interesting because Smallville did its own Lex Luthor origin movie, didn't they? But yes, I think one of Todd Phillips' things that he could end up doing one day is a Lex Luthor origin movie, which would be great. The series picks up where the Suicide Squad left off, with Peacemaker recovering from his injury sustained by Bloodsport and saddled with Amanda Waller's subordinates who must support Peacemaker in a new mission. John Cena plays the lead, also known by his real identity, Christopher Smith. The Suicide Squad stars Stephen Agee as John Economos and Jennifer Holland as Agent Amelia Harkle. Return in the series, while Daniel Brooks, Freddie Storm are recast as Vigilante, and Chukwundi Iwuji join the cast in the new role. In an interview with TV Line, Holland discusses the show's possible future. Specifically, she addressed how the show's finale coming next week could hint at season 2 and how Gunn approached season 1 with that idea in mind. To some degree, I think the way that James approached season 1 was that he wanted to make sure that the story was a complete one, she says. There might be, hints to other things, but I don't know that he had any clear idea that there would be a season 2 when he wrote season 1. If that makes any sense, read the full quote below. To some degree, I think the way that James approached season 1 was that he wanted to make sure that the story was a complete one. He's a writer of films mostly. This is his first foray into writing an episodic series. So there's a well-rounded story involved. There might be, hints to other things, but I don't know that he had any clear idea there would be a season 2 when he wrote season 1. If that makes any sense, I think there's always the hope that there's going to happen, but there's never really any conversation about it until you know how it's being received. I also don't think James wanted to lock himself into doing anything because if it wasn't received well, it would make him really sad to have to continue on with a series that he loved but people didn't really like. But I will say that this is some crazy shit happens in episode 8. And that's what I'm hearing. Get ready to be shocked. Get ready for DCEU connections as well. Very exciting. Regarding Holland's insights into Gunn's lack of TV writing experience, the idea of a fully developed seasonal story makes perfect sense. While season 2 is technically possible despite that, especially considering fan and critic reactions to the show so far, season 1 will probably wrap up the story of the Butterflies and move the characters in various directions. It is safe writing strategy when many other TV shows constantly tread uncertain waters in terms of being renewed or not. But don't forget, this is a streaming show, so the rules are very, very different. It is not uncommon to hear interviewees half answer these questions while promoting future episodes. Holland consistently builds up episodes 7 and 8 in an interview while never saying yes or no. At the same time, she does make it sound like the renewal decision rests primarily on audience perception. If that's the case, there'll be more. Even though fans were hesitant on the idea of a Peacemaker spin-off of all things, that perception has seemed quite positive throughout season 1. If Holland's boasting about the remaining episodes is all at all accurate, viewers could very well be clamoring for season 2. Listen, I think there will be a season 2. I think there's no question about it. Gunn seems very, very confident about that. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But as I say, I haven't seen it, but the way people are talking about it, it's been received so well. I am not surprised about that. James Gunn is a very clever guy. He knows what he's doing. And Scott Edwards, what's up? What's up, Scott? You know, and Walter Hamada bringing in Gunn in the first place was genius. And I think Gunn's future lies with the DCEU rather than the MCU. I think Guardians 3 is the ending for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a few grenades with Guardians 3 as well for a bit of revenge on Disney. So anyway, I think we're going to get more from Gunn, but not cinematically. I think it's all going to be on HBO Max, and I think that probably is him working to his strengths. Ben Pottimeyer, do you really think that dude in Eternals is playing a small cameo as Joker in Reeves' Batman movie? Well, I can't talk about that. But what I will say is that you're going to be very, very surprised in that aspect. But I can't, as I say, Ben, I can't talk about that. I do have knowledge of this, but I don't want to talk about the Joker and if there is a cameo or there isn't a cameo. But I think people are going to be very, very excited at the end of the movie. Scott Edwards, it's awesome you're doing live streams again. Scott Edwards, so you like the Armageddon crossover event? Yes. It's the best piece of Flash or Arrowverse we've had in a very, very long time. So we continue with our DCEU updates. Ben Pottimer, I forgot you watched it, but I get your drift. Yeah, I think, look, Ben, I think people are going to be not only pleased with this movie, but if you concentrate, there are a lot of DC Easter eggs in the movie as well. Of course, it's a self-contained story, but Reeves has been a bit, I suppose, naughty in a way. He's given the impression that he doesn't want to do shared stuff and things like that, but he's creating his own shared universe in his own Earth too. And so people shouldn't get that twisted. Suicide Squad. Will Smith says he wants the air cut released. Will Smith, who played Deadshot in director David Ayer's 2016 Suicide Squad, says he'd love to see the air cut version of the film released by Paul Sherry of Screen Rant. Where are we here? Scott Edwards, best thing since Crisis on Infinite Earths, that's for sure, Scott. Artisan, oh my God, I can't wait any longer for the Batman, not long now. Scott Edwards, so will Batfleck be deleted? I don't think he's being deleted, Scott, but he will probably vanish, and that will be a story where Barry Allen, probably has to look for him and wonder where he's gone. He's probably going to come back to Earth 1 and find that Keaton's Batman is in Earth 1, but how has this happened? Because he's changed things. But I think Batfleck's disappearance will be part of the story. Will Smith says he'd love to see the air cut of 2016 Suicide Squad released. Smith portrayed Deadshot in the film, who teamed up with a group of supervillains, including Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, and Boomerang, to take down a bigger threat under the watchful eye of Viola Davis's Amanda Waller and Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag. Jared Leto played Suicide Squad's Joker in a divisive performance that many insiders have argued never got a fair shake, due to the part being heavily edited down. Suicide Squad was directed by David Ayer and was a commercial success for Warner Brothers, although the version released to theaters was significantly altered and varied greatly from what Ayer had originally delivered. It's very interesting to me if his version would have been as good as the version they released. That would be interesting to know. The reasons for the pre-release edits come on the heels of critical reception to Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which was also a massive hit commercially, but a critical disaster. This caused Warner Brothers to flinch when Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad was reportedly more akin to his darker, more violent sensibilities. The studio re-edited the film to be more like Fox's Deadpool. I still don't think it's anything like Deadpool, I don't agree, but with a PG-13 rating, rather than the hard-edged take of Ayer's original cut. Since its release, fans have clamoured to see the so-called Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, causing the release the Ayer cut hashtag to trend multiple times over. Scott Edwards, did you like the Godspeed arc of Flash? Will you watch more of Season 8? I'll definitely give Season 8 a try, Scott, for sure. Just to say the word zoinks, did you like the Jurassic World Dominion official trailer? Look, I'm not a big Jurassic fan, but yeah, I am into it a bit, yeah, and I am looking forward to it. While promoting the new Bel Air variety, asked Smith if he wanted to see the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad released. The actor responded that he's into it and would love to see it. Smith goes on to explain that he loves that was what was created in both versions of Suicide Squad, but he'd absolutely enjoy seeing Ayer's. Smith is the second star of the film to support the Ayer cut, with Leto also recently backing the idea while promoting the House of Gucci. See Smith's comments below. So it's in a video, so we're not going to listen to that because I don't think I'm allowed. Ayer's Suicide Squad is not the only DC project to suffer this fate, as Justice League had a similar experience. Director Snyder left the film after a family tragedy and disagreements over his take, leading to Warner Brothers hiring Joss Whedon to remake much of it for the theatrical release. Whedon ultimately put out something wholly different to what was originally made, and Justice League flopped at the box office. However, HBO Max offered Snyder the opportunity to release Zack Snyder's Justice League in 2021, which became one of the most viewed and most discussed releases on the service. However, despite the success of the Release the Snyder Cut campaign, just after Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, Warner Media CEO Ann Sarnoff said the studio had no plans to develop the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, furthering outrage over his version being left on the floor. With HBO Max making full use of its DC slate of projects, many believe it would make perfect sense to release the Ayer cut at this point. James Gunn's follow-up, The Suicide Squad, was released on the platform last year. It proved a theatrical dud, but a critical hit, spawning a very successful spin-off show in Peacemaker for HBO Max. This seems to signify that streaming takes on a whole new life for a variety of properties and can help them enjoy renewed success during a time of unprecedented theatrical audience loads, as the streamer continues to chase after subscribers and build out its service to entice new customers. There is plenty of room for a finished alternate cut of a hugely successful film in HBO Max's library, like Ayer's Suicide Squad. I think this is going to run and run and run, isn't it? Let me see if there's any comments. Scott Edwards, we need to get the Ayer cut with the merger being greenlit. It might happen. Yes, the merger is happening. I mentioned this earlier this morning on my live. The merger has been greenlit by the government. Warner Discovery is coming very soon. It's a new era for Warner Brothers, and I'm excited for it. Scott Edwards, do you think other Arrowverse characters will appear in the Flash movie besides Grant Gustin's Flash? I think it's possible. I think certainly Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen could play some kind of role. Maybe not significant, but you may have a couple. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of DC characters, you know, past, present, different Earths. It's a very exciting movie, Scott. Anything is possible. I'm not ruling anything out. Going back to release the Ayer cut, it's a situation where I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It certainly would put butts on seats and bring subscribers to HBO Max, but we're going to have to wait and see. So there's that one. And the final update in the DCU, and after I read this, we can have a little chat. Right, where are we? Do you think... Artisan, wish Will Smith's Deadshot was in Gunn's Suicide Squad, but maybe he's in The Flash. Ben Pottimore, WB's track record isn't good. BVS was messed with the Ultimate Edition way better. JL was messed with Zack Snyder's Justice League came out and is way better. So I guarantee, yes, Suicide Squad is better than the theatrical. You say Warner Brothers ain't got a great track record, but the thing is, all studios mess around with people's visions at times. You just don't hear about it. We heard about it in this instance. But you know what? Different leadership, things happen. I don't know about the Ayer cut. I don't know how good it is. And I don't think, listen, I've heard a lot of things from people who worked on it. Look, I don't know. I certainly would love to see it, but it's interesting. Scott Edwards, have you been watching Superman and Lois season 2? I have. I'm very happy with Superman and Lois. It's a great version of my favorite fictional character, Superman. It's a new take. It's brilliant. Really impressed with Bizarro. He bloody well looks pretty exactly the same as the graphic novel version. He's a great version of Bizarro. It was a great twist because they led us to believe falsely that Doomsday was coming in that episode, and it was Bizarro. So yes, Superman and Lois goes from strength to strength. Green Lantern show star gives HBO an update, HBO Max, on HBO Max adaptation. Finn Wittrock, set to play Guy Gardner in the upcoming DC series Green Lantern, provides an update on the HBO Max project announced back in 2019 by Andy, whose surname I can't pronounce, of Screen Rant. Just say the word zoinks. Any updates on Avatar 2 trailer? I heard they showed a clip to theatre owners back in November or December. I have no idea on Avatar 2. As far as I know, it's still been released in December of this year, is it? And I think it's been released at the same time as Aquaman 2, which will be very interesting. But I know nothing further than that. So Finn Wittrock, who is set to portray Guy Gardner in the upcoming Green Lantern TV show, gives an update on the HBO Max adaptation. The Green Lantern universe is coming back into the world of live action, but not on the big screen. It will be back on the big screen. Not yet. There are plans. Despite a Green Lantern core film having been in development since 2014, Warner Brothers is bringing the Emerald Knights to the small screen through HBO Max. Arrowverse's creator Greg Berlanti is shepherding the DC drama with Seth Grahame-Smith attached as showrunner. The DC drama will span multiple decades while exploring several prominent Green Lantern characters. The lineup will consist of Alan Scott, Guy Gardner, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, Kilowog, and Sinestro. Green Lantern is also introducing Bree Jarta, an original character created for the series. There's no surprise there. Despite Green Lantern being announced back in October of 2019, it has been a slow development process. It wasn't until October 2020 that HBO Max officially ordered Green Lantern to series with a 10-episode commitment for season 1. While already having announced multiple characters, the project has only 2 confirmed cast members thus far. Jeremy Irvine will star as Alan Scott, Earth's first Green Lantern, whose story takes place in 1941. The second time period will be 1984, with Guy Gardner portrayed by Wittrock. Outside of Alan and Guy, the other Green Lanterns have still not been cast as far as we know. While there's still a good chunk of roles to be cast, Wittrock gives eager fans an update on Green Lantern's progression. During an Instagram Q&A, a fan asked if the American Horror Story star could reveal anything about the upcoming DC project due to contractual obligations. Wittrock couldn't reveal anything spoilery, but he assures everyone that Green Lantern is still happening and that he's a fan of the script. Check out his full response below. I'm sworn to secrecy, and especially since I'm new to the DCU, I don't want them to kick me out of the universe, but I can tell you that the script is great and that I'm just starting to get into Guy Gardner's shape. Very exciting. Despite the slow development, it can also be seen as a good thing for Green Lantern to be taking its time. Since the announcement in 2019, it has been said by HBO Max, Warner Brothers, and the Green Lantern creators that this will be one of the biggest DC TV shows of all time. The production budget is also said to have a movie quality to it, meaning they're putting a lot of resources into this project. With such commitment, it makes sense for the studio not to rush anything, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic that has affected productions in general. COVID-19 isn't affecting anything anymore, by the way. Based on Wittrock's comments, the fact that he's starting to get into Guy Gardner's shape likely means that filming could start sometime later this year. It wouldn't be shocking at this point if Green Lantern becomes available sometime in early 2023. Given how special effects heavy the show is going to be, there's going to be a ton of post-production work done on all 10 episodes. Hopefully Green Lantern Season 1 will at least have rounded out its cast by this summer and be ready to start rolling the cameras before the year's end. Ben Pottimeyer, that's funny, zoinks. Anyway, so when you hear people saying, the DC is in trouble. Zack Snyder's not there anymore. Oh, DC sucks. Boycott WB. They're doing an epic Green Lantern show spanning different decades. That's great for Green Lantern fans and DC fans like myself, by the way. So I'm very excited about what the future holds for DC. These are very ambitious projects. And I mean, you can live in a greenhouse and you can live in an echo chamber if you like, but DC is moving forward in a very exciting way. You don't have to be part of that. You don't have to be excited about that, but myself and a lot of people are excited about that, and quite right too. So that's your DCEU updates for today. So please comment here and we can keep this video going for the next 10 minutes. Scott Edwards, Superman and White Canary should have been in Armageddon. Well, to be honest with you, I think it's difficult for Tyler, obviously shooting Superman and Lois. He just wasn't able to do it. And plus, Todd, I think, who's running the show, is trying to keep that as self-contained and away from Arrowverse as possible. Of course, it's part of Arrowverse, but they're trying to keep it in its own kind of house. And I think that's served well for it, Scott. But yeah, it's difficult right now. And you can't cross-contaminate sets with COVID right now as well. Ronnie Dodge, hey Mick, got your Batman tickets yet? The fact it's sold out it's 350 previews on IMAX instantly says a lot. Yeah, that's a flop, all right. The Batman was never going to flop, was it, Ronnie? No, I haven't got my tickets yet. I won't. I tried to get to one of those premieres. It's absolutely impossible. I was even looking at different countries. It's not going to happen, but I obviously will be going to see this film multiple times. Look, it's a great time to be a DC fan. We are eating well. Christian Cartier, do you think there is any chance we could still get a Batfleck HBO Max show after the Flash movie? Christian, it's very difficult because Affleck doesn't seem to be interested. Now, I believe he's still interested to do cameos within the DCEU, so I don't think they're going to kill him off or delete him. I think he'll go missing, and that'll be part of the DCEU story. And saying that Flash has to do maybe a mission to find Batfleck. I don't think, unless he changes his mind. But also, Ezra Miller was laughing about the claim that the Flash movie would be Batfleck's final appearance. So who knows? Anything is possible. I don't know. Just say the word zoinks. I don't know which one will be better, but I do know one thing. Avatar 2 is going to make Aquaman 2 look like 2000 student project from a VFX point of view. Well, I don't agree with that because James Wan did a great job with the VFX of the first film, and I expect him to do an even better job with the second film. So I don't think it's not just about VFX. Anyway, I'm not going to watch a film because it's got great VFX. What am I going to choose? Well, I'm going to choose the DC movie. I have little interest in Avatar. I think it's okay. The first movie was okay, very overrated. But at the end of the day, I choose Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I'm very excited about that film. It probably will have some DCEU cameos in it as well. But yeah, your claim about the VFX, I don't agree. James Wan is one of the greatest VFX directors in the business. So that's just my opinion. But let's be honest, if you're just going to see a film for its VFX, I don't know. That's not what I do. Scott Edwards, do you think Orm will be a good guy or bad guy in Aquaman 2? I think he will go under the guise of wanting to help with a certain situation. But once they release him, I think he's going to cause problems. Ronnie Dodge, Patrick Wilson has said the VFX in Aquaman and the Flash is something we haven't seen before. So I choose Aquaman in December. Absolutely, Ronnie. When you've got someone like James Wan making a movie, there's no worries about VFX. Scott Edwards, so what role do you think Harcourt... I'll start again. Scott Edwards, so what role do you think Harcourt will play in Black Adam? Well, the rumor is she turns up in a post-credit scene or at the end of the movie, and her and members of Task Force X abduct Black Adam. So obviously, it looks like The Rock could be involved with some future Suicide Squad project, or there could be a threat that they need these powerful DC characters to be involved in. That's a very, very exciting revelation. Ken Tobias, advanced IMAX Batman tickets sold out. Prices range $20 to $30. Yeah, and not everyone can afford that. But, when you're talking about Batman, Batman is the hugest fictional character in the business, so popular. Even if this film was being made by a student director, people would be getting excited. Ben Pottimer, did you see the cast for Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon? I did. It's good that he felt sorry for his friend Ray Fisher and he's given him a little extra role. Congratulations to Ray. At least he's still working somewhere, even if it's not in a very prominent role. But joking aside, I'm very excited for Rebel Moon. I'm a fan of Zack Snyder, but I'm also a fan of DC. Ronnie Dodge, Harcourt talking to the Tef in Black Adam could be interesting. Yeah, I think I've heard this is definitely the case, that her and Task Force X are going to abduct Black Adam. How you abduct Black Adam, I don't know, but it's very exciting. I think there's something going on within the DCEU where they need people like Black Adam. Maybe, at some point at the end of Fury of the Gods, she may even try and abduct Shazam as well. Something's happening for this to be going on. And this has been all but confirmed as well. So very exciting. Just say the word zoink, sir. I watched Aquaman 5 times in theaters back in 2018 and early January 2019. I just meant from the point of view of VFX, no story. Yeah. But I mean, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Just say the word zoinks, because, that's not how I go and watch my stuff. But what I would say to you, James Wan is just as proficient as VFX, in VFX as James Cameron is. No question about that. Ronnie Dodge, does this mean we get a break of Ray Fisher bitching about WB then? Probably not, my friend. Probably not. But, I'm not very interested in Ray Fisher and what he has to say. He's in the past. He's delivered all the evidence he has. It's time to move on. I hope to see him as Cyborg again. If he gets an apology, good for him. But I don't want to be going over old ground. It's boring. Scott Edwards, you think they will do a special event for the Arrowverse 10-year anniversary this fall? They may do a documentary. I don't think there's any plans for an actual show. Scott Edwards, do you like Maya Queen? She's not one of my favorite characters, Scott. She doesn't do much for me. Muhammad Al-Wali, are you excited for the DC Sandman show on Netflix? Oh, yes. That's going to be great, Muhammad, and I can't wait to see it. Just say the word zones. When will we get the first trailer for Black Adam? Well, apparently The Rock will be at the Super Bowl, so it might be there. But the sooner we get a trailer for that, the better. That's coming in July. They need to start marketing it. But obviously, they don't want to clash with the Batman. My guess is we'll get some real marketing happening after the Batman is finally released. Scott Edwards, I just like how she's taken up her father's mantle. I do, but she's not Oliver Queen, mate, and she's not as interesting. She just doesn't interest me. I want, we should have Green Arrow. He should never have been killed off. Ben Pottimer, I can't wait when people realize Fisher is just doing the right thing. And I won't say that word, abusive people in power doing what they please. Well, the thing is, Ben, in life, when you work for big companies, they're in control. And at the end of the day, there were big issues with the DCEU, and they made wrong decisions, obviously. But directors have been treating actors badly since the beginning of the Charlie Chaplin movie days. This isn't a revelation. Nothing's going to happen here. You can't destroy an entity like Warner Brothers. It's not going to happen. Scott Edwards, Black Lightning and Maya Queen were my favorite guest stars in Armageddon. I really, really like Black Lightning. I think he's amazing. I can't believe they cancelled his show. But yeah. So Maya wasn't my favorite thing, but definitely I thought he was great. But I tell you what, my favorite thing was about Armageddon, The Flash. He was amazing. Scott Edwards, why have they not announced a release date for Batgirl? I think what I've been told, it's going to be released in December. It's set at Christmas time. So definitely after the Flash movie. And I expect all this year's DC live action content to be set after Flashpoint, even the stuff coming before Flashpoint. So it'll be very interesting if they do that. I think even Peacemaker is set after Flashpoint. I don't think anything that they put on there contradicts my theory. But I don't know why they haven't announced a date for Batgirl. That's interesting. They may be still considering putting Batgirl on a theatrical release. I don't understand why Batgirl is an HBO Max show and it's not being released. She's a huge character. Keaton's going to be in it. Who knows? Batfleck may even be in it. Who knows? Just because one's in it doesn't mean the other can't be in it. Ben Pottimeyer, Ralph, what's that say? Route for him, like you all route for women in the Me Too movement. Well, I don't. To be honest with you, Ben, I don't care about anything but entertainment and great movies, great television drama. But I'm not, I'm not going to get involved with Ray Fisher because from the moment he went against Walter Hamada, I'm not interested because his attacks on one man sounded like a personal mission. And he's accusing Warner Brothers of being racist. I could accuse him of being that way towards an Asian executive. It goes both ways, doesn't it? So, yeah, I'm not interested in Ray Fisher, and I'm certainly not going to support him. Great actor, great cyborg, and that's where my interest finishes with him. Ronnie Dodge, thoughts on Dylan O'Brien, rumoured to be Dick Grayson in Batgirl. Yes, this is very exciting. It looks, we are getting a Dick Grayson, and it looks like Dylan's going to play him in the DCEU. This is the stuff that's exciting. When people say, oh, DC's in trouble and it's crap, no, there's some big, exciting plans. Who doesn't want to see Dick Grayson in the DCEU? I think if you're a DC fan, you'd be very excited about that. John, have you seen the new Jurassic Park trailer? Yes, it's pretty cool, John. Ronnie Dodge, I'm all about DC movies and TV shows, not a movement for an actor or a director. No. Look, I support Restore the Snyderverse. I don't support these propaganda merchants. It's boring. I'm not supporting bringing down a studio or bringing down this person or that person. I am not interested. Warner Brothers own DC, and they have to make the right decisions to be as successful as they can. And it's clear, as great as the Snyderverse was, it was no good to have that as the prominent thing of a DC franchise. Scott Edwards, we never found out which Robin died in the DCEU, right? Yes, it was Dick Grayson, which means Flashpoint will trample on what Snyder was attempting to do by killing Dick Grayson. Not a good idea to kill Dick Grayson off. He is the iconic, Robin. You don't do that. So Flashpoint will get rid of that, and I'm happy for that. So, yes, actually, Scott Snyder told us it was supposed to be Dick Grayson who died. Mohammed Al-Wali, have you seen the new Peacemaker episode, Imo? It was phenomenal. No, unfortunately, Mohammed, I don't have access to Peacemaker yet, but I'm hearing so many great things, which makes me happy. Scott Edwards, so will nothing from Wonder Woman and Aquaman be changed by Flashpoint? I think what you're going to find is that I think things like the first Aquaman and Shazam will stand. Those things won't be touched or deleted. I think the first Wonder Woman movie will be untouched. Somehow they're going to pick and choose what they mess around with. How they do that, I have no ideas, but it's very interesting. I definitely think when you look at after Justice League and those films, for example, like Shazam, like Aquaman, definitely untouched. I think Birds of Prey could be deleted out of it. I think Wonder Woman 84 could have a deletion, but I don't know because they're planning a third Wonder Woman film with Patty Jenkins, but she's being fired left, right, and center. So who knows what the future holds for Wonder Woman. And Ben Pottimeyer, it all sounds great, man, but they need to execute it right. Yes. Every movie, every plan you do in entertainment needs to be executed properly, or you're never gonna, you're not gonna get a great movie. You're not going to be successful. So yes, Scott Edwards, do you like Killer Frost in the Flash show? I like Killer Frost. I like the idea of Killer Frost. It's good that they've given us a Killer Frost. Obviously, the actress is great, but I like the Killer Frost in the comics. I like the fact that there's something going on between her and the Flash in the comics, and I would be more excited about a romance going on between Killer Frost and Barry Allen rather than, Iris West and Barry Allen. I think that will be a lot more interesting to me. Ronnie Dodge, the Flash will fix some things, including Dick's death. I mean, look how connected the movies are after the Flash. Wonder Woman in Shazam 2. Exactly, Ronnie. Wonder Woman in Shazam 2 is a very interesting thing because I think Ziegler's character could be connected to the Amazons, and I think she could be the character who goes off to Fantasy Island with Wonder Woman at the end, to get some training, to be protected from her sisters or something like that. So yes, Ronnie, very exciting that Wonder Woman will be in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. John, do you think Robin from Batman Forever could be in The Flash? From what I hear was they don't want to treat Batman Forever as canon, so probably not, but I'd love to see it. Scott Edwards, did you watch the Godspeed arc in season 7? I did. It was interesting. Ronnie Dodge, if we get another Justice League movie and The Flash is amazing, I think Andy should direct it. It's interesting. I think there are plans for a Justice League movie, but I think that they're big plans, and I think I said this ages ago, didn't I? I think we could be looking at a multiverse Justice League movie, which to me is a lot more interesting. Considering we've already had Zack's amazing Justice League movie, it would be great to have a multiversal Justice League movie. That would allow all these different versions of these DC characters to be involved as well, which would be really, really exciting as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how you all feel about that, but yeah, really, really cool. Scott Edwards, I like the Godspeed arc a lot. It and Armageddon revitalized the show. I think Armageddon revitalized the character of Grant Gusting's Flash. I think he'd been taking second position. He'd been benched in so many seasons. This is called The Flash. It is his show. And I think what was great about Armageddon, it reminded us how great Grant Gusting is as playing Barry Allen and The Flash. And I think that was the real success of it. So, yes, I was very happy with Armageddon because one of my favorite superheroes, The Flash, was dominant in it. It was great, the whole thing with him being set up. It was great. I still don't like Tom Cavanaugh. Look, I think Tom Cavanaugh was great as Eobard in season 1, and that was a great twist. But I prefer the other actor as the Reverse Flash. I think he works better. But I think they've killed him off in Legends of Tomorrow, which is disappointing. Ronnie Dodge, I think Wonder Woman and Supergirl will share a scene in The Flash. That would be very, very exciting. Let's see what happens to Sasha Calais' Supergirl. Who is she? Which Supergirl is she? Has she a future in the DCEU? Very interesting questions. John, it's going to be a new team if there is a new Justice League movie. I think they'll mix it up with existing Justice League characters and new Justice League characters. Ronnie George, do you plan to get the Flash movie prequel comics? Oh, absolutely. I want to read them because they're going to be very, very interesting, and they're going to give us a lot of clues about the future as well. So absolutely, and maybe we can read them on a live, or not all of it, but some of it. So that would be very exciting. Yes, so definitely plan on getting that because this is going to be cool. Scott Edwards, do you like Sarah Lance, White Canary? Yes, I like her. I think she's a very good actress. I think she's a great character. I think she's a great captain of the Wave Rider. Yeah, definitely. Mohammed Al-Wali, there has been a lot of rumors of Supergirl replacing Superman. Is that true or just dumb rumors? Dumb rumors. Supergirl can't replace Superman. She's Supergirl. Supergirl wasn't created to replace Superman in comics, was she? How can Batgirl replace Batman when we already know there's a new Batman in the DCEU or an existing one, right? And that's if, Batfleck isn't involved in cameos as well. So Batgirl isn't replacing Batman and Supergirl isn't replacing Superman, Mohammed. What may happen is if they can't work with Henry, they'll bring in another version of Superman. Tyler Hoechlin maybe, but more than likely Brandon Routh's Christopher Reeve version of Superman. With Superman 78 being so successful in graphic novels, there's so many elements of adapting those comics and bringing Brandon in. So there's so many options for them. I believe there will be a version of Superman in the Justice League. No, Supergirl is not replacing Superman. That's impossible. Supergirl isn't a replacement. Supergirl is Supergirl. Supergirl's her own character. She could never replace Superman. They would never get away with that, would they? Let's be honest. Scott Edwards, will we see a new Justice League at the end of the Flash movie? Will they set up a phone for a sequel? I think we could get the revelation of a brand new Justice League in the Flash movie, which I've always kind of envisioned, and I think that's the way they're going with it. Scott Edwards, will you be Will you be doing live streams every day? Yes, I hope so, but I'm not at home at the moment. I'm living at my sister's, so not always easy to do these things, but I will try my best, Scott. Ronnie Dodge, I can't wait to see Keaton's Batman back in the Flash and Batgirl. Isn't it amazing? What DC fan is not going to be excited about seeing Michael Keaton return as Batman in the Flash movie and Batgirl? It's going to be very exciting. J.K. Simmons back as Commissioner Gordon as well. Nobody knows how he's there, considering it's Keaton there. And people assuming Batfleck isn't involved in Batgirl. Wouldn't surprise me if he shows up as well. It's a brave new world for the DCEU, and anything's possible. That's what a multiverse strategy is. It's there to serve the entire audience and not a small portion of it, and that's something people misunderstand. Scott Edwards, will Melissa ever return as Supergirl? It's interesting, isn't it? Because her show is not there anymore. I think more than likely she will turn up in Superman and Lois one day. I think that's the place you would expect to see her, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, Melissa had a great run. She's a great Supergirl. Unfortunately, the material she got wasn't great. And that's a shame. I mean, they did get away with 6 seasons, but on the CW, you can run a show on one viewer. That's what they do, isn't it? So, but Supergirl is such a great character. And if you read her in the comics, she's so much more interesting than we've ever seen in live action. And hopefully Sasha Calle can give us something. Sam Dejan reviews, will Green Arrow be in the DCEU? I think it's time for Green Arrow to be in live action properly in the DCEU. He's a great character. And who knows what we're seeing in The Flash. If we do see him anywhere, it will be in The Flash. But yeah, Green Arrow is such a popular character. And not to have a live action version of him anymore, I think, is criminal. So I would expect them to do something. Ronnie Dodge, did you see them filming flashback scenes for Batgirl with a young Barbara? I didn't see that, but thanks for letting me know about that. That's very exciting. So we'll see what they're doing there. People forget that Batgirl is actually Barbara Gordon's story and nobody else's story, with all the rumors of cameos and things. By the way, I think the Batgirl movie is going to be great. Those 2 directors are absolutely fantastic. Scott Edwards, Arrow season 2 is the best standalone Arrowverse season. Yeah, look, Arrow seasons 1 and 2, Flash seasons 1 and 2 were really great. And I thought Arrowverse was at its best in those first 4 years. Unfortunately, they took a more juvenile direction after that, and that's a shame. John, will they use a new actor for Cyborg or use the actor from Doom Patrol? Listen, because it's the multiverse, they can just say that they can even delete Fisher from the canon if they want with Flashpoint, can't they? They can bring the Doom Patrol guy in. They can bring someone else in from another universe and bring him into the DCEU Earth 1. This is what's brilliant about this. They wanted Fisher to be involved, but Fisher decided to go, all campaigning and try and bring down this one and that one. At the end of the day, people do what they want. He's a great Cyborg. I would have loved to have seen him in the Flash movie. He's not in the Flash movie because of his own decision-making. Scott Edwards, I still love all the crossovers, though. Just fun and entertaining watches, yeah. Very difficult with COVID, though, Scott, now, these crossovers. And I think that's why Armageddon wasn't a total crossover. Very, very difficult for them to cross-contaminate the sets. And I think that they do want Superman and Lois to be a more self-contained show. As we can see, they're creating a new DC universe with Superman and Lois. I think Superman and Lois is show number 1, if you like. And I think the Green Lantern Corps show will be show number 2. But, there's always possibilities. But I think while COVID's a thing, crossovers in the Arrowverse will be few and far between. Scott Edwards, if I send you a Black Adam article, will you read it? If you send me an article, I'm getting a bit tired now, so I probably won't read it here, but I probably would read it in the next video for sure. Scott Edwards, it's about the villain. Why don't you tell us about it here in the comments so we can discuss it? And I'll read the article tomorrow. Yes, it's very tiring doing these videos. Ronnie Dodge, if Dylan is playing Dick, I think it's perfect as Dylan and Michael Keaton has worked together before in American Assassin, which I didn't know about. But that's pretty awesome, isn't it? Sorry, Ronnie, because you said the word Dick, they held your comment for review, which means I have to hide it. Apologize about that, but No disrespect, because I knew what you were saying. Scott Edwards, Sabak is the villain, apparently. I don't know much about Sabak. Can you tell us about Sabak, Scott? Can someone tell us about Sabak? Who is he? What threat does he pose? Listen, I think Black Adam, like all the other movies, are going to be great. But I think Black Adam, you know, The Rock is boasting about the quality of this film, how good it looks. I can't wait to see what they're doing. And the JSA being in it is really exciting. But they are going to have to really give us a great Dr. Fate, because the one in Smallville, Absolute Justice, was the Dawn. John, is Doomsday going to be in Superman and Lois? This is the big question, John. We don't know, because they kind of lied to us and brought in Bizarro. But I think what may happen is Bizarro becomes Doomsday. Ronnie Dodge, oh my God, YouTube has gone woke, lol. Ronnie Dodge, I need to see Dr. Fate in the first trailer. Yeah, Piers Brosnan is Dr. Fate. Don't tell me The Rock and his people, Walter Hamada, don't know what they're doing. When you cast Piers Brosnan, one of the best James Bonds of all time, as Dr. Fate, you know exactly what you're doing. But yeah, I need to see the trailer too. Scott Edwards, I sent you the article on Twitter. Thank you very, very much. Probably do a video about that tomorrow, if that's okay, Scott, and we'll read it out. It sounds very, very interesting. Always happy to receive articles and read them. I will be switching off this live in a minute, so get your comments in before I have to go. My back is killing me, but it's been really great to do the second live of the day. Look, I am not happy with this camera on this new laptop. I'm going to have to buy a camera, but at this moment in time, that's what we got to work with. Ronnie Dodge, when you back to Cyprus, mate, probably the end of next week, I'll be going back there. So we'll be able to get back to the old routine, probably lives in the evening, pre-recorded videos during the day. I think that's what I do. It's easier to do lives, of course, because you don't have to wait for it to upload. My internet isn't great over in Cyprus, but we'll see how things go. But definitely there'll be plenty of live videos every week now. Now I've got this laptop, as long as this doesn't break as well. So that's very exciting to look for. Remember to like the videos, share the videos. Scott Edwards, what would you rate the Godspeed arc and Armageddon each out of 10? The Godspeed one's interesting. I didn't like Godspeed as much as I liked Armageddon. I thought Armageddon was a lot better because it was Barry Allen and the Flash front and center. And I can't remember the Godspeed arc very well now. Wasn't that the one when Nora was there and being annoying, a version of Nora? She was the Speed Force. Was that it? Because that didn't go down well with fans, did it? But Ronnie Dodge, good to have you back down lives, especially with all the movies coming out. Missed you, my friend. Well, I missed you too, and I missed everyone else too. It's really great to be able to connect live with all the fans of DC out there, because believe it or not, people do love the DCEU, and the propaganda merchants, you know, they're not the only voice. Muhammad Al-Wali, which do you prefer, the Batman or No Way Home? Listen, the Batman is an art. It's an arty, you know, it's different. The Batman is so different. Look, Spider-Man No Way Home for me is a great movie in terms, it felt like a real origin film for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Finally, it all made sense now what they were doing with Homecoming and Far From Home. So that's a great movie. But look, come on. The Batman is another great DC movie. As I say, Warner Brothers make art and Disney make money. That's what I always say, or what I started to say. But yeah, look, basically, what was the question again? We need Bobcat back, Chloe. I was talking to Bobcat. He DM'd me on Instagram today. And yeah, hopefully we get him back on the channel because he's a lot of fun on the lives. Ronnie Dodge, can you say if Barry Keoghan is in the Batman? I can't say that. I can't mention anything about that. Goba316. Oh, nice. Another live stream today. How is it going? Thank you very much. It's going okay. How are you? John, how long is the flight to Cyprus? Oh, it's about 4.5 hours. It's a long flight. I hate flying. I hate turbulence. But yeah, it's difficult when someone asks you what's better, No Way Home or the Batman, two different films, you know, the Batman is made by an artist, you know, someone who is passionate about this Batman character. He's made the ultimate comic book Batman movie, and he's molding his own dceu universe. Earth 2, so different, can't be compared. Goober 316, I'm doing well, thank you. Ronnie Dodge, okay, cool, fingers crossed. Scott Edwards, we need to have a spoiler stream after the Batman releases. Yes, planning to do that. I think about a week after its release, we will do a total spoiler discussion, and I can't wait to do that because it sounds like fun watching things before other people, but you can't talk about them. So it's not much fun. I'm glad I was able to watch it, but yeah, it's difficult, and you got people bothering you, people, DMing you, tell me the whole movie, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you didn't watch it because you're not going to tell me. And obviously, if people don't believe you, they don't believe you. But I'm not going to start gobbing off about a movie that hasn't even been released yet, because I won't be able to see any more test screenings. I won't be able to, give people feedback as well. So, there's no point in that. You have to be responsible. Ronnie Dodge, Matt Reeves is the GOAT. Yes. Matt Reeves is the GOAT. There's no question about that. Matt Reeves' involvement in Planet of the Apes 2 and 3, you saw what he did there. He's really good friends with J.J. Abrams. Listen, the man's a genius. He was one of the few elite directors to congratulate Zack Snyder on the Snyder Cut. He's a good guy. He's a good dude, but he's also a fucking genius, which is great. Scott Edwards, Godspeed Art was the one with Barry's kids, Bart and Norrie. Yeah. It's not for me, to be honest with you, Scott. I think there could have been a better job done on the future Flash universe. They could have even done a spin-off with those kids. Right, I think that would have been a better, more interesting thing to do. Scott Edwards, do we see the origin in the Batman? Oh, listen, what happens in the Batman is that the emotional element, the whole motivations of the character is because if he saw his parents get murdered, but they don't deal with an origin story. This is year 2, but everything that happened to him when he was a boy, when he saw them die, it's the reason he is where he is, and he's the reason he is the character he is in this film. Goober 316, I can't wait to see the new Batmobile in the Batman. Like the rest of the concept from Reeves, it's so different from other live action versions, but the design of it and the actual car makes total sense. And when it's up and running and when it's moving, it really is amazing. Right, that's it for this live video. I will see you again tomorrow. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for everything. I'll be back. Until then, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Goober 316, I love the look of the new Batmobile. It is awesome. And once you see it up and running, you're really going to like it, especially a certain car chase in the movies. Scott Edwards, is there a credit scene? Not in the version that I saw, but it doesn't mean there isn't one, but probably unlikely, but who knows? Ronnie Dodge, see you later, mate. See you later, everyone. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Au revoir, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen. Thanks for being involved in the channel and thanks for your support. Until tomorrow, goodbye.